Welcome back to First Take, presented by AARP.
We got a four-time All-Star NBA champ with us, Kyrie Irving, sticking around still, kind enough to be here. Max, you had a question you wanted to pick up where we left off, right?
Go ahead, Max.
I did. I just want to say, Kyrie, the takeaway that I have, and you may say I'm mistaken, but I believe I won't be alone in this takeaway from this interview so far, is that you've reached the point in your career and life where staying with LeBron James would hold you back in terms of fulfilling your complete potential as a player. Or that there's some personal problem with LeBron James. I know you said, why does it have to be about one guy? Because if you're playing on the Chicago Bulls, it was about Michael Jordan. You're playing on the Cleveland Cavaliers right now. It's going to be about the relationship with the second best player on the team to LeBron James. Am I wrong in that assessment?
I just think that you just care entirely too much. Like, it's just, I get it. I get it. Ask the questions, relationship, here it is. But you keep forgetting that basketball is a team sport. I'm around different players all the time. I understand it's 1-2, 2-1, however you want to slice it, in terms of there is no personal issue. There is no, like, let me figure out what's going on. Let's dive in, and maybe we're missing something here. I made the decision as a man. And as a man over there, Max Kellerman, just respect it and leave it alone.
Here's my deal. How important is winning to you? I'm going someplace with this. How important is winning to you?
I've been winning I've been on the search and on the journey of winning at every level I've been at. And that's always in the back of my mind.
I asked you that question because let's talk basketball. We look at what you had in Cleveland. Not just LeBron. Kevin Love, by the way, got a lot of love for you now. Got a lot. We filmed a commercial together. Yeah. Got a lot of love for you now. You know, Tristan, JR, the crew, they got a lot of love for Kyrie. I'm telling you, a lot of dudes ain't happy you going now. You know that. And you're leaving all of that. And you're going to Boston. Avery Bradley's gone. Isaiah obviously is gone because you're there. Crowder's gone because you're there. You got Gordon Hayward, who's a bad somebody. He can play now. Yes, sir. You got Al Horford. He can play. But Avery Bradley, Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder, all gone. So people look at it and say, you're going to a somewhat worse situation. To that you say what?
Oh, I can't wait to make my teammates better. I can't wait to be with those individuals as well as Brad Stevens, Danny Ainge, and being in an organization that I'm truly appreciative for taking a chance, because they gave up a lot. They gave up a very special player in Isaiah, a very special player in Jay Crowder. They gave up the big Ante Zizic, and as well as a 2018 first-round pick. Yeah. And when you look back on it, it's like, wow, man, you got to take a moment and marvel in that, because to honestly make that happen with Danny Ainge sitting in the seat and allowing me to partner with a intellectual brain like Brad Stevens, who knows the game.
Great coach, great young coach.
And that's aside from the X's and O's. That's just an
Max, I'm coming to you. I'm coming to you in a second, Max, but I got to go this route. Money. Look at where I'm going. You're in the midst of a $90+ million contract or so, but Kyle Lowry, 3 years, $100 million. Steph Curry, 5, $207 million. Chris Paul turned down about $200 million. Russell Westbrook's got $217 million on the table that he can sign any day that he wants to from Oklahoma City. How much, if at all, was it a factor that even though you got a couple of years left on your deal, your purview in the landscape, you're looking at that money factor and wanting to best position yourself to get what you deserve? Because out of all of those guys I mentioned, only one's a champion, and that's Steph Curry. Other than that, you're the one with the chip. But those guys are signing the contracts. Talk to me about what factor, if at all, that played in it.
Can't put a price on happiness and truth, Stephen A. I waived my $5.6 with a $5.8 million trade kicker. Obviously,
5.8.
A lot of that clearly does not matter in terms of what my intent ultimately will be and always has been, and how I see myself further in my career in this great NBA that we have. And I get to be with some guys that I'm going to have to get to know again, and I'm a full-blown new step in my whole entire journey. So.
Go ahead, Max.
Kyrie, Stephen A. will talk about LeBron and when you were on the Cavs and in this last playoffs and say he's not trying to hear it, how good the Warriors are. They won 73 and added KD. LeBron James has Kyrie and Kevin Love in other parts. He has enough. He doesn't want to hear any excuses. Go get it. How do you feel about the Celtics right now, your presence on the Celtics, what they have now, based on their talent and your addition at this moment? What are the expectations in terms of how far you can go this year?
See, that's the kind of difficult question that will be asked throughout probably the entire season until we form our identity as developing players such as Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Gordon, Al, myself, Marcus, Terry Rozier, and we can go down the line, but only 4 guys from last year's team that I played against in the Eastern Conference Finals are returning. So this becomes a totally new journey, and you have to see it as that. I have the expectations, and I know that we all share that as a group, but we don't know about each other at all. And the only time we have to figure that out is through training camp and throughout the season. And that's the difficult part, because in being on a championship team that went from 2015 to 2017, and Bron coming back, and we have Kevin, and we have to reshape, and we have veterans, our 2015 with Sean Marion, Mike Miller, Brendan Haywood, and we have an older team, to getting Swish and Shump. And now we all have to figure out how we collectively mesh with one another. So now you take that same formula that I had the unique opportunity of being a part of and observing every single day, and you apply that into another cultural environment that has a culture that's existed for years, and now you try to put your imprint on it.
I'm going to say this to you, because I try to be as honest as I possibly can be always. No matter what you say, there are going to be people looking at you sitting here today, and they're going to believe you're in the situation that you're in. You are now a Boston Celtic because something happened between you and LeBron. With Gordon Hayward, with Al Horford and Brad Stevens and Danny Ainge, you're going to bring that noise to Boston, because now it's not just about LeBron. The 3 biggest stories in the NBA very well may be the Golden State Warriors. We'll look at Oklahoma City, too, now that they got Paul George. There's going to be Cleveland, and it's going to be Kyrie Irving in Boston. Not Boston, not the Celtics. It's going to be Kyrie Irving in Boston, okay? Because you're not a scrub. You are a star in this game. Yeah. So because of that, are you prepared, or how prepared are you, rather, to deal with, unintentional or not, how prepared are you to deal with the destruction that you are going to be just because you're that good and you decided to leave Cleveland and you ended up in Boston?
Honestly, Stephen A., I didn't hear anything that was reality-based in all of that. I didn't hear one thing. I heard noise, I heard distraction, and then there was one important thing that I think that you failed to realize, that the Boston Celtics have existed without myself prior to me getting traded there. There is no Kyrie Irving in Boston. There is the Boston Celtics that exist as a cultural, iconic franchise that now I'm a part of. You're thinking about guys that have laid their hard on sacrifice and sacrificed their time with their families to put championships in those banners in the ceiling. And I'm just trying to join that same lineage. There is no such thing as the whole distraction. I live a very much real life outside of all this.
Oh, I'm not talking about you.
I'm just saying that
distractions are real, though. You do know that. Come on now.
Oh, if you're very much woke, there is no such thing as distraction, especially all this.
Okay. I like that. I like that. I can learn from